And next we have the Unix operating system. So this is the command line interface of the Unix, and now it has just add some graphical user interface to the operating system. So it supports a multi-user, and it is also a multitasking OS. And it is used in a large-scale network, such as in the universities, government departments, or in banks. So usually we don't have a Unix computer at home, so because it is used in a very large-scale networks. And next we have the Linux operating system. So Ubuntu is a very popular Linux distribution, and it is different from Microsoft Windows and macOS because it is a free and so-called open source software. That means the software, even the source code, can be downloaded from the internet, and then you can modify it and then redistribute again. So we call this an open source software. So it is very Unix-like, and it can be run on a personal computer. For example, the Red Hat, the Mandrake, or the Ubuntu are very popular Linux distribution. And in some modern smartphones, for example, the Nokia operating system is built on the Linux kernel. So it is a very Linux-based smartphone. And as you can see, Linux can also support the graphical user interface as shown in this Nokia smartphone. Next, we have the Android OS, Android operating system. So if you have a Samsung smartphone, then you should be familiar with the Android OS. So it is a mobile OS, and it is also built on the Linux kernel. And Android should be the most widely used OS on the smartphone and tablet PC, for example, the Samsung Galaxy Tab. But what is a Linux kernel? What is a kernel? So actually, it is the fundamental component of an OS. So it manages the input and output commands from the software. So these are the application software. So it manages the input and output commands from this application, and then translate it into instructions for the CPU, RAM, and other device. So it is the bridge or the connecting point between the applications and the computer hardware. So this is the Android OS. So since Android is built on the Linux kernel, and Linux is an open source OS, so therefore we have many different versions of Android. For example, Lollipop, KitKat, Jelly Bean, and so on. Next, we have the iOS, and this is a very famous OS from the Apple. So it is a mobile OS, and it is used in the iDevice, such as the iPhone, iPad, and also Apple TV. And it supports multi-touch gestures. So what is a gesture? It's like this. In the past, we used the mouse, and therefore we have the left click, right click, and double click. But now we have the touch screen or the multi-touch screen. So these are the gesture. For example, tap, double tap, tap and hold, swipe, pinch open or pinch close, or rotate. The iOS supports the multi-touch gesture, and it also has over 1 million iOS applications on the App Store, and this is also very user-friendly. If you have an iOS device, you understand how user-friendly it is because it's very simple to use, and it won't give you the unnecessary functions or commands. This is iOS. And to round up, we have a different operating system. For example, Windows, macOS, Unix, Linux, Android, iOS.